nice to pray for somebody when it's their birthday, and it's a nice feeling. It's nothing else. You just want to wish them well, tell them you're so happy they're in the world, that you're sharing the world space with someone. It's such a nice feeling to do that, you know, because you don't know how long we know each other for, or how much time we see each other on this earth for. So whatever time we have to with each other, there's so little time we have in life with all the people we know to tell them we love them. So birthdays are a really nice time. You don't see them the whole year. You wish them happy birthday and you send them your love and you send them that energy. So happy birthday. Happy birthday. Anybody else's? June we have loads. October we have loads. How about Libras and Geminis in the center? I know. So I just wanted to know. April, very few. So friction causes fire and then it burns. Friction. When you think of friction, what do you think about? Two things rubbing together, right? And if you take your two hands, everybody, take them. Just keep rubbing them. Just rub them. Keep rubbing them. Getting warmer?
How do you rub?
Keep? Yes. Rub harder? Yes. Rub harder. Rub harder. Okay, now you're rubbing really hard. It's getting really warm, right? Okay. Now I want you to just close your eyes. Keep rubbing. Don't stop. Close your eyes. Visualize a beautiful white light coming through the crown of your head, down through your shoulders, down your arms, into your hands, and relax. And just rub your hands gently. Now separate them a quarter of an inch apart and move them up and down. You will feel a tingling on your fingers and your hands and an energy field. Now I want you to breathe in and feel the breath go to your hands. And now I want you to ask them to spread goodness out. So bring your hands up without opening your eyes and almost facing in front of you, the palms of your hands. Feel the heat. Transform that heat into light of goodness. Transform it by filling your mind with kindness. Now I want you to think of somebody who gives you a lot of friction in your life. A lot. Because every time you see them, there's some burning and there's some problem. And take this friction and turn it into light and send it to them. Send it to them. And wish them well. And now turn the palms towards your own heart. You will feel a change of energy in the heat of your hands. Will cool down. And send it to your heart and tell it it's fine. You don't need to fight anymore. It's fine. You can let it go. There's nothing to prove. There's nothing to force. Let go. Now release your hands, make them soft. Take a breath and bring it down your shoulder blades. Roll your shoulders back. Take a deep breath. Say, I release the need to hold on to any friction. I release the need to hold on to the friction. I release the need. I can transform fire into water. I can transform anger into love. I can walk away by sending them light and giving myself just as much as they deserve the love and light, but I can walk away from it. Take a slow, deep breath and see the friction that you have in your life, and just see it as just a simple obstacle that you can climb through. Keep rubbing and you'll burn up. Let go and allow the universe to look at it, and you will cool down. Open your eyes. The only way to put out a fire is with water. And it's our ego constantly wanting to prove ourselves right, and maybe we are right sometimes, maybe other people are wrong, you know. But if you force them to see that they're wrong, it creates friction. You give advice. So many times we like to give advice, maybe to our children and to our families or to our husbands or to our partners, and they don't take it. They don't take it. They don't take it. And by you forcing that energy on them, you create so much friction that you both burn. It's a lot of wastage of time. It's a lot of wastage of your energy. So what we all have to learn is continuous friction will hurt both parties. So either you walk away or you accept totally. If you can learn to accept, it is the best solution. The only way you can learn to accept is by giving somebody else their chance or their choice to make the mistakes they have to. And that has come to you. It has come to you because you need to let go of you controlling their lives. We can't. You do your best. That's all you can do. But continuous forcing of something to happen doesn't work. It just burns. Both parties burn. And you burn each other. And then you both get worn out. And you both get tired. And where is that peace that you're so searching for? So, acceptance is not weakness. Acceptance is strength. But before acceptance, you must make sure that you are coming from a place of strength and not a place from running away as an easy way. Oh, Nalanie says we have to fight fire with water, so I don't want to confront this situation. I'm doing the right thing. No. Like Arjuna in the battle. He didn't want the battle, did he? Arjuna is one of the warriors. He didn't want a battle. He was a good person. But badness came to his life all the time, whether he wanted or not. For 14 years, he tried to make peace, but the other party would not make peace. And finally, he had to go into war. Finally. Why? Because if he didn't they didn't want peace. And if he succumbed to it and say, okay, you do the wrong thing, what would have happened to all the people? They would have learned that wrong is right. So he had to protect goodness. He had a job to do. Sometimes we have jobs that we don't want to do. And he didn't really want to fight, because who is he fighting against? His own family members. He goes to the battlefield and he starts shaking. Why am I doing this war? I don't want the land anymore. I don't want anything. Let me go to the mountains and meditate. And who answers him? Krishna as the higher voice or the God above, whatever you want to call it, and says, why are you so feeble-minded? And he says, my lips are parched, my legs are shaking, my hands are, I don't want to fight. And then Lord Krishna says, you would think God would say, don't fight, go to heaven. I mean, go to the mountains and pray. What a good guy, right? And this Bhagavad Gita, for many years I couldn't understand why. And then when I took up the practice, life teaches you why. We all learn. And Lord Krishna tells him, you didn't want this. You never asked for it. Battle comes to you, not of your accord. And if you run away and don't protect that which is good, it shows that you're a coward. How will your family look upon you? How will your children look upon you? My father didn't protect me. Your wife will say, my husband didn't protect me. So is that good for you? What is your duty in life? To protect your family, to protect the goodness of the earth. And so he goes into war. And this is his dilemma. But what is the point of war? I'm hurting people. And this is the war we're talking about, the battle of our own mind. You know, I always talk about the story of the two wolves, the grandfather with the two wolves. You know that story, right? Anybody not know it? Shall I tell it again? It's a simple story. There's this American Indian grandfather, and he's telling his grandchildren a story. He said, you know, in your life you will always have two wolves fighting battling with each other in your mind. Oh, Granddad, what are the wolves like? Oh, there is one wolf who's arrogant, full of lust, anger, big ego, greedy. And what about the other wolf, Granddad? Kind, compassionate, loving, good. Granddad, which wolf will win the battle? The one you feed most. The one you feed most. Doesn't say that God does it to you or anybody does it to you. We have angel, we have demon. There's no Satan coming and saying, oh, you're gonna be bad. That's the way the free choice lives. You see those cartoons? It's really like that. And it's in here. And these are the battles, the good and the bad. But how to battle? Sometimes you're so blinded by your ego, you think this is the only way. Arjuna came to the point, let's just give it all up. But he couldn't give it up. Look at the life, look at your life circumstances. Look at where you are. That's where you know what you have to do, what you've been given. Look at your talents, what you're good at. Look at what role you've been given in life. And that's how you make up your mind. In Arjuna's case, Lord Krishna told him, why do you think you're such an excellent warrior? Why do you think you're such a good person and you know what is right to do? Because you were chosen. You were chosen to save the world. At that time, India, Bharat. You were chosen. You didn't want to do the war, but the war has come to you. And the whole of the Gita, which I'm teaching every Tuesday in Spain, the whole of the Gita is how to avoid that friction when you have it and go into battle with love. I mean, if you read the Mahabharata, which is a huge volume, it's very complicated. It's sometimes like the Bible, you know? So many things that are weird and strange. And the milk of the Mahabharata is the Bhagavad Gita, where the real nectar comes in, the nectar of knowledge. How? For householders, for people who still have so much karma to go through. Obstacles come to us, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, so that we can fly over them and show the world to be the example. To be the example that we can overcome painful circumstances with love. And sometimes on the outside it looks like a war, but on the inside you should be full of love. You are not fighting because you want to hurt anyone. You are not fighting because you want to make enemies. You are fighting because you want to maintain peace. Your goal is peace. Many people live a lifetime. I remember once I had a 72-year-old woman come here. Her daughter brought her here. She spent she married at 15, 72, how many years is that? 57 years. With a man who beat her every day, got drunk nearly every night. And she felt that she had to take this until she was 72, and one day she couldn't do it anymore. She couldn't live with him anymore. But at 72, where is she going to go? She never even took any independent steps to collect some money for herself. So she went for all those years. She was so miserable, and I told her, didn't you speak up? Didn't you protect yourself? I only want to do that now. How are you going to teach a man at 72 or 74, he was 2 years older than her, to change? When you allowed it for so many years, and why did you allow it? Why did you tell him the first time he ate you, don't you dare do that again? Oh, women didn't do those things. But now I see we have a right. And every human soul, male or female, has a right to defend themselves. You have a right to defend yourself. If someone is hitting you, you have a right. Even in law, right? Self-defense is allowed. If you have to protect yourself, it's allowed in law. It's only when it's malicious and you're out to hurt someone, that will cause great karma to you. Great karma. But when something comes to you that you do not ask for, and it's painful, if you keep fighting and you keep rubbing and you keep rubbing and you keep rubbing, it's going to burn you and the other person. So where is life? Like this lady. In her case, she didn't fight. She allowed the friction to keep rubbing, 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 rubbing. She felt the friction. He just beat her up. Finished. And got drunk. And that's it. And she just took it and gave him play. But inside, she was burning and burning and burning and burning and burning and burning. What's the point? A whole lifetime. But she was very lucky because her daughter said, you know, Mom, you can come and live with me. She was so happy when her daughter said that. She said, one day, my life in peace. I think, how do people live like that? So, you know, it's very important to know. It's a paradox. When to stay and when to go. When to accept pain and when not to expect pain. When should you fight the battle and when should you walk away? Very difficult to know. We are bombarded with some people tell us we have to do it this way, and some people tell us we have to do it that way. My way of learning is learn to get in touch with the divine within yourself. Build up your spiritual knowledge. Build up your spiritual knowledge. What is spiritual knowledge? Love all, serve all. Do good, be good. But you can't be good and do good all the time when people are attacking you. Can you? Is it possible? It is not. So how do you solve that situation? Either you accept and pour water on the fire, or you fight with love. You use the anger rather than as anger, transform it. How do you transform it? You can only transform that anger if you take an independent stance, which means you have to build up your own power. I often talk about this story of Tina Turner. You know, I don't know, have you read her book or seen her movie, I Am Tina? I mean, she was beaten for years. There's this beautiful woman with a beautiful voice, you know, married to this guy, and she thought she deserved it. Made her, beat her to pulp. And one day, a friend of hers said, she gave away her power. She gave away her power. One day a friend said, please, you know, I'm doing Buddhist meditation. Try, I'll give you a mantra. Taught her just a little to do it every day. She did meditation, not even knowing much about Buddhism. And she started with the meditation every day. 6 months later, when I came to meet her up, she called the police and cut that. She cut him out of her life. She just had the courage to cut. And look what she's ended up doing. Do you know now, have you seen her on YouTube? Yeah, I showed you, I sent some of you. She sings mantras to children. It's beautiful. She does, which one? Om Sarvesham Swasti Bhavatu. You know, auspicious being unto all. She teaches these kids. If you YouTube her and her mantras, it's brilliant. And she's sending this peace message with all these different children, all different religions. And you see the video, it's beautiful. And look what she's done with her life. She transformed it. She didn't want to leave him. She loved him. But that was sick. The friction was burning them both. Wasn't doing him any good too. It was bringing bad karma on him. They loved each other, but they just something there just didn't work. And if they had continued, they both would burn. But the spiritual knowledge gave her the strength to fight, not even to fight, to protect and defend her peace. And with that peace, so much good. And because she has suffered pain and birth in a beautiful way, maybe I did her that favor. She no longer wants pain to go to the world, but love to go to the world. So she can see that he taught her to experience pain, so she can understand others' pain, that she can forgive them. I'm sure she has. To do this kind of work, you have to forgive the work she's doing. You can't do work like this without forgiveness in your heart. And so, if you can look at anything in your life when it starts from a point of so much friction, and see what you want, if you can visualize, this will help you a lot in your life. Visualize a good ending. But don't ask for how you would like to see the ending. I was telling this to somebody today. Don't ask, oh, I would like to see the ending like, I want this person to come back to me, or I want this person to change. Because this person may never change. You want that person to come back to you. Maybe they'll come back to you, but not the way you want. Back to the same old problem. I always say, when you want to pray, pray for clarity. Clarity. May the best thing happen for all of us to bring the highest good for all. And this was Arjuna's fault. And this is what Krishna was telling Arjuna. You are fighting not because you want to battle with your uncle, with your teacher on the other side. Your teacher's on the wrong side. Your grandfather who you love is on the wrong side. Oh, how traumatic is that? So how many times in our brain are we on the wrong side? It's not like Satan comes there. We're on the wrong side. Why? Because we become attached. This is what they call the ego. We become attached to our views, our way we look at life. I'm spiritual, so I've got to be right. We're attached to all these views, and it has to be this way. And the more you think it has to be that way, the less life is going to bring it to you. The less you will see it. But when you just let go, and I've seen people do this. I've seen it, with drug addicts, with people with emotional problems. The more they resist facing it, the worse it is. But when they just face their emotional problems, come to grips with it, and say, my emotion is making me pain. Nobody else is causing me the friction. I am allowing me to be in pain. I am doing this to me. Cannot blame anybody. And then you take that friction inside of you and you battle it like the two wolves in your own mind. And how do you battle it? With love. And that takes time. It takes time to convince yourself to be free of your own conditioning. It takes a long time. Be patient with you. Love yourself a little during that friction, because you are, whenever you let anything go that is painful even, it's hard. Do you know that? It's even hard to let go of pain. You get attached to it. So you've got to let it go. And it will take its time to go. And don't expect it overnight. But meanwhile, make yourself strong and independent with spiritual practices. That's why spiritual practices are so important. I know we talk about meditation a lot, and many people nowadays tell me, I can't do it, Nalanie. I sit down and all I hear is noise and noise and noise, and they sit down for 1 hour and they come out more agitated than they went in. This is not the idea of meditation. It will not help you. Bring more friction into your mind, more friction into you. So I can't face my mind. So what do? Remember, start small. Start with 5 minutes, like Tina Turner, with a mantra, with a light, and fill your heart with love. 1 minute. If you can do it for 1 minute, you've done a great job. And see the light within you. I am light, I am light, I am light. I'm one with everything. Deep in the hearts of all, says the Bhagavad Gita, the light of all lights. Deep in the hearts of all. We're all light. There's a light inside us. So start to awaken. You have to awaken it. If you have a light inside and you don't keep looking at it every day, it's going to die. It's going to fizzle out. And it's very easy to fizzle out. We light a flame. So easy. Blow it out, right? You've got to keep it alive by keep making sure the lantern is turned on. If you don't keep making sure, checking the oil every day in the lantern, the light will come away. So your job is to keep that light going, mostly in your difficult times. Mostly. And what happens to most people in difficult times? They let that go. And then you burn and go, why has this happened to me? I'm such a good person. Because the one thing you need to keep your sanity, the one thing you need to keep alive, to remind yourself that you are light, is your practices. And it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be 2 hours. You might drive yourself a bit crazy. You've got a crazy mind. Short is better. Then make it short. And make many short moments in a day. I find with this generation, it seems to be easier for them to do that. Maybe because we've been brought up with so much sound, so much noise, that to sit and quiet, we're not used to it. I think in this generation, it is important when you can't meditate, use tools to help you. Use mala beads, as I was teaching our initiates today. Congratulations, we have 2 initiates today. Use mala beads, use music. There's some lovely soft music that is out that will inspire you. Don't give your mind, don't give the wolf that is saying, poor me syndrome, why is there so much friction in my, to take place. And then be brave. Remember last week we spoke about courage? Be brave and tell whatever you need to, if you're feeling, for example, very exhausted, and your family keeps needing you, you have to be brave to say, look, you know what? I love you guys, I'm tired, I need a break this week. Don't mean to hurt you, don't come. It's not unloving, it's very kind. You're teaching them to be aware of other people. You're teaching them to be awake. Sometimes we think we have to give so much to be good. Sometimes it's to be good, you need to teach them also that they should be aware of people getting tired. So many times I have young people say, I want this for my parents and this, and I said, what do you do for them? Do you make them even a cup of tea? A grown man said to me the other day, I live with my parents because they had some problems, left this one, And I said, and what do you do for your parents? After all the headache you give them, you disturb marriage, disturb this, disturb that, what do you do for your parents? Somebody's phone, sorry. So, you make sure the phones are off. Sorry. Oh, no problem. Do you make them a cup of tea? No. Don't you think it's about time? Oh, no wonder you've lived a miserable life. All you've done is think about yourself. And whose fault is it? The parents. We're so weak these days. Weak. We want to do everything for everyone. There's a lovely story I remember, some of you know it, I've told it before, about this mother who looked after her son. She adored her son. She loved her son. Her son could do no wrong. He was the light of her world. So as he was growing up, lovely child, very happy, and she did everything. Cooked for him, cleaned for him, did everything for him. And when he wanted to help her, no. When he had trouble in school, she'd run to school and tell everybody off. So what happened to this boy? He got used to getting everything his way. Mom did it all. Mom fought his battles. Mom did everything for him. So he didn't learn to do anything. So what happens? School, he becomes spoiled. And then he gets bored with life because life is too easy, right? What do? You have everything you want. There's no effort. You have no self-respect. You don't do anything for you. You have a battle, call mom. So anyway, what happened to him was he got bored, so he went drugs. Then he started to rob. Then he started to, and in the end, and every time he went back home, my good son, he's really a good boy. You don't really know my son. Darling, I forgive you, thinking that she was so good, such a good mother. What happens? Finally, he ends up murdering someone. He's on death row. And they ask him, your mother's been crying, she's been calling every day. I'm sure you would like to see her. He said, she is the last person I want to see. And the prison guard is shocked. Your mom is crying every day, bringing you food and everything. Why? Why are you doing that? He said, you know, if she had taught me that life was going to be so difficult, but all she did is do everything for me. And every time I did something wrong, she didn't teach me. She allowed me to do it. Today, I blame her. I'm in death row. I'm going to die. And the last person I want to see is my mom. Don't you think that's sad?
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the truth of it. And this is happening a lot in our world. We are not teaching each other to be aware of our feelings. And when we're not expressing, and we're not teaching service to our partners, to our children, you know, we're just spoiling them. No, you get that with men. How many men come and see me? Say, you know what? I'm really fed up. Why? My wife is really lazy. What? Why don't you tell her she's lazy? She gets in a bad temper, she starts screaming, the house is so messy, I work all day, I cook for the kids. Be brave! Oh, but I really love her. Do you really love her? Tell her that she's making... Don't wait so many years and then you want to leave her. And then you can't stand her. The love turned into hate. Whose fault is it? Why did you allow the situation? It burns. Internal friction burns. We think friction sometimes is, I hate you, I hate you. Sometimes that's even easier because it's done, finished, out of the way. But the internal anger, wow, that causes illness. That makes people sick. That makes people really sick. You need to get it out like Arjuna, fight the battle, purge it, and peace. And you never know what the outcome may be. Just say, always pray, that may the outcome be the best all concerned. It may look horrible in the beginning. It look horrible. You imagine the battle, you see the battle scene, or you read the battle scene in the Mahabharata, because that's right after the Gita. It's horrible when you read about it, all the suffering, all the pain. For what? The bad wolf started the battle. And let us make sure as human beings we do not choose the bad wolf. We have, and this is the great thing about being human, and this is the great thing about spiritual practices, you know, and this is why also they call it the razor's edge. When you're on this path, you're on a razor's edge. Because many times, you know, too much love, too little love, you don't know. You're just in the middle there. You don't know what decision to make. What's the right way to go? This is why it's so important to base all your decisions on firm teaching that we get from all the scriptures. And what do they teach us? First commandment. Anybody know? Love the Lord thy God with all your heart and all your soul. Right? I haven't done it for years. And love the Lord your God with all your heart. So what do? Fill your heart and soul. Then love your neighbor as yourself. So you have to love yourself in order to love your neighbor. You don't love yourself, you cannot love your neighbor. If you believe that you should be taken advantage of, people will take advantage of you. It's not their fault, you allowed it. If you have low self-esteem, don't blame other people for manipulating you. You allowed it. And this is where knowledge takes you away from pain. As the Gita says, just as fire burns fuel into ashes. Just imagine that roaring fire burns. Don't you think the fuel burns, the wood burns into ashes? So does the man or woman of knowledge burn its karmas with the knowledge of spiritual practices You learn how to deal with frictions and obstacles in your life. That's what you do. And that's the gift we've been given. And that's why he says most of our problems are due, we call them the casues, the problems due to ignorance. We work on a very physical one kind of like conscious level. And then life is full of pain. I hit you, you hit revenge, hit back, hit back, hit back. And it's a lifetime of cause and effect, and no peace, and no joy, and no peace, and no joy. One thing after another, one argument after another. But I want you to do it this way, but I can't do it this way. But I want you to do it this way. Let it go. Spiritual knowledge teaches you how to let your attachment to what you think things should be go. It's come to you to let it go. You stick in it, you burn yourself and the other person. Remember that constantly. Welcome home. Haven't seen you a long time too. Yeah. Home for the Easter?
Yeah.
Right. So, and this is the idea of spiritual knowledge. To gain that discrimination, to gain that strength, to gain the right to know for yourself where you are coming from. Where am I coming from? Where is my heart? Is it in love or is it in anger? If it's in anger, don't do the action. Fill it with love and then do the action. So what do you do meantime? Build your spiritual strength like Tina Turner did by meditating, by praying. And then the final act of severing something that destroyed them both, she could do. She had to let go of her addiction that I could change, that I could be better, that next time is not going to happen. That was her addiction to him, and that she could change him. But she couldn't. Sometimes you can't. Did you want that to happen in your life? You can't change people. So you have to be very wise, and sometimes you can. When you change, when you allow them the mistakes and laugh and say, no big deal. You allow them the mistakes. I remember when my son once was playing football in my house and had a big crystal vase and he smashed it with a ball. He actually called me, I was working in the shop. He said, Mom, I broke you. I'm so sorry, I broke your crystal vase. And I said, no big deal. What? No big deal. It was an accident. I hope now you've learned. I hope now you have learned you can't play ball in the house. My apartment is very small. But don't worry, you said sorry. No big deal. A vase can be replaced. Just learn from it. Never, ever play ball in the house again. Why? Gave him permission to make the mistake. Took the sorry and not say, why did you do it? Da, 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 da. Mom, I said I'm sorry. But how dare you play ball that? You broke my favorite vase, which I could have done, which most people do. And then they develop anger, fear, and resistance to fight back. No big deal. The other day, my granddaughter, 3 days in a row, got juice everywhere. So the first time I said, no big deal. The second time I said, it's okay, don't worry. Granny, it's twice already. No problem. The third time, I said, now you need to think. I said, you need to be more aware of where your hand goes. I said, not because I mind, I don't mind, but in your life, somebody else might mind. You should be more awake and alert to where the glass is. So be vigilant. But because I let her go the first 2 times, the third time, Granny, you're right, I'll be more careful. Yeah, just watch your hands. Don't get so excited and, get so excited. You don't look, bang, 3 times. I said, what do you have to learn? To be careful. Great, you learned it. Now practice it. You see, you let go, but at the same time, if it continues, you need to put a stop to it. So you have to know discrimination, when to let go and when to tell them. It's not an easy job to do. Because it's a fine balance, but you can only do that if you do that with yourself. When you make a mistake, when there's frictions in your heart, are you easy to say, I can let this go, and I'm going to try not to make this mistake again, and if I do, I'm going to look at it properly and see why did I need to do it again, and what is the cause of it, and why do I need to go through this lesson again and again? Is it something I'm not seeing from the outside? Is God sending it to me to rise, or am I supposed to let it go? What is it supposed to happen? And your answers will come to you when you know yourself better. When you trust yourself, when you know where you're coming from. And that place has to be from love. It has to be. It doesn't work anyway. It really is true. It takes only water to put out the fire. So ultimately, forgiveness has to come in. Ultimately in your life. If you don't forgive, if you don't let go, there will always be friction in your life. Even if the result is not good, you have to forgive. And accept that was the will. How many times parents do the best to bring up their children and they end up drug addicts? Have to let it go. You can't carry the responsibility for all your life. You guide them, you teach them. You have to teach them this is not the right thing. That causes friction. Why isn't it right? Oh, because because what will people say? Wrong reason. They'll go and smoke more and have more drugs. What will people think? How can I have a son like that? How can I have a daughter like that? What will people think of me? They'll think I'm a bad parent. Wrong reason. Because, darling, it will hurt you. It will not bring joy to your life. It will bring pain and suffering. But if you need to do it quickly, get it out of your system. But no, it will bring you pain and suffering. I am telling you very clearly. It's going to bring you pain and suffering. Don't believe me. Study about it. Study the internet. See all the cases. See where people end up when they do this. See for yourself. Learn. You want me to get you information? Okay. You don't. No, you don't know anything. Blah, 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 blah. Let them go. Let them experience. You go back. But keep an eye, a vigilant eye. And when they suffer, say, why do you want to do that to yourself? Look what you've done to yourself. Why would you want to waste your life being miserable? You want to be proud of you? Awaken that pride and that joy so that they're happy. So that they learn to be happy in life and make their own success and their own failures and learn from their failures and learn from their success. When we don't do that to our children means we don't do it to ourselves. That's your guide. Watch that in you. Are you very tough on yourself? Are you not forgiving on yourself? Are you too bothered about what people think? Ask yourself all these questions in your life, and you will see the friction comes from you. It may look like it's coming from somebody else, but really, you can change things around. You can. And some people do change also. I have seen here very clearly. I've seen some you just can't help. And then I say, can't help you. Let go. Sometimes you just can't help people. We can't save the world. We'd like to, but we can't. Let them go. Let them make their mistakes. They'll come back if they need you. But allow them the mistakes. And some, and the ones that I have seen make the big changes, are only those who take the time to work on themselves. Those that keep on blaming the world cannot heal. Those that start to take responsibility in their lives for painful situations and do a positive action, not hung up on old emotions, oh, I don't want to do it because it's going to hurt somebody else. If you're going to do something because you feel it's the right thing to do, somebody will always be hurt by your actions, won't they? You have to follow your heart. Haven't you noticed sometimes in life, you have to make a decision, and you want to make the decision, but everybody's telling you not to because they'll be hurt by your decision. But deep in your heart, you know that is the right decision for you. Have you ever felt that? And then you get confused because you think, I'm causing pain. Is it a perfect action? Isn't it a perfect action? But do you want to cause pain? What is your heart say? You want to create love. And sometimes when you move away, people think it's a threat. So they feel the pain. But it's not that you want to cause them pain. You want to experience love. Do you see the difference? You're not walking away because you want to give pain. You really want no pain to anyone. And that's their choice, to take it as pain. It's not your choice to give it. And that's where you have to know where you are coming from. Very, very clearly and very firmly. Because when you are clear, people cannot manipulate you. When you are unclear about yourself, everybody will manipulate you. When they know your weakness is that you're so good sometimes, weakness is not goodness, I always say. People like to manipulate. It's not their fault. Easy to manipulate. Then I see the person who's weak and manipulating. Why is everybody using me? I'm tired of people using me. It's not their fault. You've allowed it. I'm good and they do this. So why don't you just tell them I can't do it today? What's the big deal? What's such a big deal? Why can't you be truthful nicely? You don't have to be truthful in a horrible way. You don't say, you can go there nicely and say, I can't do this. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, this is who I am. Please forgive me. I know you'd like to see me like this, but this is not who I am. This is who I am. And maybe forgive me, give me time. Maybe I'll grow in time to be what you want. But at the moment, I'm not what you want. Either accept me for who I am or don't. Choice is yours, but this is all I can give. This is all I can do. And believe me, I'm working on myself every day. When you tell people, I'm working on myself to be better. You give them the permission to accept you by telling them that you are working on yourself. I make mistakes. We always like to hide that we're making mistakes. You know that. When we do something wrong, tendency is to hide. Don't want to admit it. Never hide when you make a mistake. Show it out in light. Because you know why? When you show it in light, you can see it clearly yourself. You learn from it. You see yourself clearly. It's like you're showing yourself out to the world. Look how many mistakes I've made. Wow. Easy to correct. Now I can see it, I can correct it. While I'm hiding it, I'm shoving it away. Cannot fix it. I cannot correct it. I cannot move on to the next stage of my spiritual development or my freedom. Because the less you let go, the more you purge, the more free you become. You're not frightened of what people think of you. They think you're silly? Great, that's their prerogative. It's wonderful. So long as you are happy within yourself, because you are not causing harm to anyone, including yourself. And your highest goal is to serve all nature best. If they don't take it that way, it's not your fault. You are coming from a place of love. And if they walk away because you're coming from a place of love, it's their prerogative. Allow people to go. Allow them to go. I keep saying the last 3 days this keeps coming up, so it must be necessary. I keep telling people this. I loved it when Gurudev, told us the story about how wife or husband left their partner. She's crying to him. Oh, Gurudev, my partner left me. How dare he leave me? All those years of service. I did this, I did that, I did this, and he left me. He just left me like this. And he goes, good. And she looked at Gurudev crying more. How can you say good when I'm suffering like this? How can you tell me good when I'm suffering like this? And he said, good? Why would you want to be with somebody who doesn't love you? Good, they've done the karma. They've left you. Now find somebody who loves you. You deserve it, don't you? He asked her, you deserve to be loved, don't you? She says, why are you angry with him? You want to live with you and not love you? Isn't that worse? Isn't that worse punishment? Do you see how our minds get so weird and transformed? And then that's when you get all these separation cases of 22 years later, 30 years, and still angry with each other. What a waste of life. Friction burns. You've got to let go. You've got to let go. Got to let go. So cut it right there before it allows to grow into a monster and anger in you. Cut it right there. It's a cancer. It'll make you sick. Any negative thought that stays for a long time is cancerous. That's where the cancer cells come from. stays there too long. And it's not only that, it's also the food we eat, etc., etc., etc. But when you have a thought that's constantly painful, even if the pain is caused to you and you didn't do anything wrong, if you keep that pain, you get sick. Because it's negativity in the cell, right? If the cell doesn't get oxygen of love, what makes the world go round? Love. The cells need forgiveness, the cells need love, because that is the stuff we are made of. What is pure spirit? You know, the yogis call it truth, knowledge, bliss, absolute. That's who we are. So the moment anger comes, arrogance comes, we become sick. The white becomes black. And it's the same in our bodies. If everything is divine and everything is one, and we come from the same whole, we came from the same Big Bang, you know, all of us one. And when we have the stain, our body cannot deal with it. In the Bhagavad Gita as well, in I think it's chapter 9, the yoga of the cosmic vision, when Arjuna says to God, because he still can't go into battle, he's still worried, and he's still asking, where are you? What are you? And then Krishna tells him, I'm going to give you a gift that I have not given many people on this earth. I'm going to show you my real form. But in order to show you my real form, I have to almost put you in a trance-like state, because your worldly state will not be able to handle it. He puts him in a trance-like state, and suddenly he sees Krishna turning into this big body, and in this body he sees all the saints praying, all the people worshipping, all the laughter, all the love. And again, he's, oh my God, Krishna, I never knew you were God. I never knew you were God on earth. I never knew what's the appearance of God. And suddenly, that same form, he saw demons. He saw animals being slaughtered. He saw earthquakes. He saw the ground opening up. He saw the battle that he was about to fight already being fought in this divine thing. And then he goes, take away this sight, I can't bear it. And Lord Krishna takes him out of that sight. Oh, divine. This battle that you are fighting is going to be won anyway. Either you fight or somebody else takes the name. But I have chosen you because I know you are balanced and I know that you are loving. I have chosen you to do this difficult job. The world is like a theater. It's like a theater. And without good and bad, we can't exist. And this is why it is so important to know that there are things that are not so good that's living in our world. How to deal with them. How to deal with them. In which manner. In which manner. Sometimes you have to walk away. Sometimes you have to be in that unhappy place and shower them with light and love. But make sure if you do that, you go home and you refill your own energy. I know many people now, many young people as well, studying Reiki. They want to heal the world. They're coming from a very good place. They want to heal the world. They want to make the world better. But they haven't healed themselves. Or they don't know how to recharge. So they give all this energy all day long. And many have come to me with breakdowns. Many. Because I said, do you meditate? Do you check your energy? Do you pray? Do you take nice showers? Because water helps to cleanse. You know, you have to do those things to protect yourself. Because if you're not doing the practices to build up your battery, you know, if you use a battery for too long, it wears out, right? It wears out. We're batteries. We'll wear out. You have to recharge constantly. And what is our charger? The spiritual energy. We call it prana. We can do it through breathing. We can do it through meditation. We do it through a peaceful mind. So, you know, even though you're agitated all day and you feel, I can't have time to meditate, just stop. Like now, just stop with me. I want you all to just get really comfortable. Get really comfortable. Move your shoulders, move your head from side to side. Stretch your arms. Stretch your arms. Move back. Move your waist. Yeah. And put your arms around your back. Hug your elbows. Get some energy there. Yeah. Just really stretch. And again, let's stretch. One side, other side, more. Oh, you really climb. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, good. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then your waist, just move gently from side to side. Good. And then just roll your shoulders up, breathe in, and down. Breathe in, up, and back and down. Breathe in, hold, exhale, and release all the tension from your shoulder areas. Now take both your hands, put it at the back of your neck here, and just massage it a little bit. Release the tension there. You'll see there's a lot of tension in that area. Keep releasing it. Now gently move your head to the left and then to the right. Left and right. That's it. And then just turn it round, breathing in and breathing out. Just keep doing it one more time. Breathing in and breathing out. And relax. Now all that just took 1 minute. You need to do more 1 minutes in the day. Then when your body's a little bit relaxed and let go, you can actually feel all your tension areas. Can you pinpoint them out now? Can you pinpoint in your body exactly where it's aching?
Yeah.
Okay, so immediately when you've done that, notice where is it aching. And then you give it a little massage. Like mine, I got one right here. So I'm going to give it a little massage right now. Just right here. I noticed it. That's it. And just give it a massage and send it a little, take a deep breath and send it breath. Release the tension. See, if you learn to listen to your body, it tells you already where the trouble is starting. And before it goes worse, have a massage. I mean, seriously, you know. My master, Gurudev, when we were in India, I remember the first time he asked me to go with him. I went on my own to Indian Coimbatore, and I don't know why he asked me to go. He said, Nalanie, I want you to come for 9 days. He even told me the days. 9 days to India before you go to Bali, he told me. Because we're at the Bali retreat, right? I met you all there. I want you to come 9 days to India. And I realized why, because in those 9 days I learned a lot about what spirituality, what I thought spirituality was, and what spirituality actually really is, by watching a great master at work. You know, I remember I went to his house, and first of all I arrived, and he had organized all my accommodation. He said to me, I'm not putting you with me in my house, I'm putting you at the center. And he said, you'll know why. Okay, so I stayed at the yoga center in those days. It was very khaki, cockroaches, scary. But never mind, I knew already it was my training. I had to train to get used to everything. So I wanted to be spiritual, so I wanted to train. So I saw one side of all this tackiness, and I'm going to make sure I have no hot water in the morning. No problem, I'll learn to deal with this, you know? So I did. Also, I learned that I had a lot to give. It wasn't only bad, it was good things I had to learn. That there were many people who were living there, needed a lot of love and kindness, and they were not shown it. And I was sent there to show it to them. Then I also learned to watch my master. And I watched what went round the master. So when he invited me one morning to the house, he had just finished a massage. Just had a nice massage. And he goes, you know, I come here every winter, and my nephew owns a nature cure center. And I come every day, and I have a massage every day So my body can be, I'm now getting old, he told me, but if I need to serve, I need to have a strong body. So every day I have a massage so I can serve, because otherwise it's getting old and the muscles are getting stiff. How good at it. You know, I used to think, I told him this actually, that when people had massage, they were pampering themselves, they were being selfish, but now I understand. You're true, we have to look after our bodies to serve. So, anyway, I go back to the ashram. Everybody's sitting down. Oh, I wanted to see Gurudev, says one of the disciples who's come all the way from Iran. I want to see Gurudev, but I couldn't see him because he's having a massage. Why is the spiritual master having a massage? Why is he having a massage while we all have to stay here and live in this place, and he's living in a nice room? And I go, and I looked at her. I could answer her immediately. And I said, do you know why he has the massage every day? Because he wants to keep his body healthy to serve us. Isn't he serving you? Don't you want him to be comfortable? Why shouldn't he be comfortable? Why shouldn't he be happy? Isn't that what he's teaching us, to look after our bodies? If he didn't do that, how are we going to learn? And then she said, I thought it was selfish to do massage for yourself. And I said, me too, but my vision has changed now. If I don't look after me, how am I going to look after anyone? Taught me a great lesson. And then the rest of his life is service. Service, and he can serve more. That evening, went to the temple. There were thousands of people in the temple. Thousands. Everybody mauling him. You know, in India, they maul you. And they get so many followers and bowing at his feet. And I learned another lesson. Poor guy, here in India, he gets adored and understood. He goes to the West to teach the West. Everybody's complaining about it. They want more, 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 more. There in India, they just happy to receive his light. And yet he chose. I had to see all this. He chose to go to the harder place so he could serve many of the West. And he has. Look how many of us went through that. How much? It was a total sacrifice. Even his death, how clever. He arranges his burial, right? He tells his grandson, who happens to move to the ashram 2 years before, I want you to prepare all the things for my burial. Because you know, great saints have to be buried in a certain way. Nobody knew this. You go to this monk, you talk to him, he'll tell you what you need to buy to embalm my body. Because we will not cremate my body. I have my burial place in the States, right? So what does he do? He goes to, so his grandson prepares everything, and when it's ready, they call him in America, all your stuff is ready, should we send it? No. Leave it there in India. He'll come back with me. That's what he said. He'll come back with me. I'm going to India. Goes to India. Suddenly knocked. Right? And he goes into hospital. Aneurysm. He dies. Right? Very quickly, very smoothly. In fact, he had a DVD apparently brought to his intensive care unit. He asked his one of the people who was with him, he was actually invited to a film opening of one of his disciples. Bring the film, I want to see it. You're in intensive care, you want to do something for me? Bring me the film! Why are you so worried? And everybody go home, go home. He sent everybody home. He went like this, and he died like that. Oh, 1 o'clock in the morning. What a nice way to die, no? But look at how considerate. In his death, he died in India, so all his disciples would be happy. He made the job very easy for all his followers in America to know how to embalm them, which monk to use to do the prayers, which prayers to do. They all went back with his body on the plane with him. He made everybody happy, even at death. And this is a sign of great, great people. But the reason why I'm telling you this is we have very odd ideas of what spirituality is. We think suffering, there's enough suffering. We will have suffering from our own karma. We don't need to ask for more. We don't need to ask for more. And to look after yourself is your birthright. Don't overdo. That's all the same. Don't do too much, don't do too little. What does it say in the Yoga Sutras of Sri Patanjali? Those who eat too much, those who eat too little will not find God. Those who work too hard, those who work too little will not find God. The ones that are balanced, Buddha, the middle path, are the ones. What did Buddha do to find God? He went nothing, left everything, starved himself. Did he find anything? No. It was only when he decided the middle path. Everything blossomed and he created such a world of beauty around him. And his teaching was compassion. When you think of compassion, what does it bring up in you? Love. What other word comes up when you think of compassion?
Kindness.
Yeah, what else?
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness. Do you see? With that comes forgiveness. When you feel the compassion, there's actually a forgiveness in it. I forgive you, you're suffering so much. You've had such hard years. Yes, you did all this so badly, but you know what? You want to change now. You really want to. And you have the compassion to forgive and love them for the efforts they are making. And not say, oh, you're going to make a mistake again. I know you probably, do you know, your compassion. But wisdom with compassion is necessary. So these are some of the things we need to do when we have so much friction in our life. Sometimes walk away. Sometimes you have to fight. You have to fight with love. Make your point. We talked about courage last week. You have to be courageous to be on this path. You watch any of the movies that the Lord of the Rings, etc. Frodo, is his name Frodo? Frodo. I say I've forgotten. I read the book actually. I saw the first film, but I didn't see the others. And look, he didn't even want to be the one, did he? Did he want to be the chosen one? No. He was chosen. Whether he liked it or not, like Arjuna, he was chosen to do the battle. And because he was chosen, didn't the divine send him somebody to look after him all the way? Somebody to look after, to make sure his needs. What was the partner that followed him everywhere and looked after him? And I don't remember, so watch the movie again, let me know. For those who saw Lord of the Rings. And he had to go through so many things. And he said, I'm just an average guy, I don't want to do all this. He didn't have a choice, he had to do it. And there are obstacles enough on the way. So don't make more obstacles for yourself. Don't make more obstacles. And this is what we do as human beings. When something is bad, we make it worse by exaggerating it. If something is bad, don't add friction. Walk away from it. Don't add salt and pepper and then gossip about it and talk about it and make it worse and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow till it becomes a bomb. And this is what happens a lot in the world. Something small happens, we blow it up. Talk to another person, oh, can't happen, you shouldn't take that. It's just a little thing, it's no big deal. No, then they make it into a big deal. So you go home, it's made into a big deal. Somebody else tells you it's a bigger deal. And you start to build up this mountain over this little tiny thing, which you could have just attended to right away yourself, by yourself, without consulting anyone, by being brave and saying the truth. I didn't like this. Why did you do that to me now? Full stop. Confront it immediately. You talk about it, you grow it, you grow it, you grow it, you nurture this horrible friction. And who do you hurt at the end of the day? Yourself. You think you're getting support? Guess what? The moment you change it, people will agree with you again. Oh, actually, I was wrong, you were right. Oh, why did you tell me that in the beginning? People don't do that. It's the way of the world, haven't you noticed? Swing, side to side, fickleness. This is why you have to be so strong. Don't be so fickle. Learn to be steady, and this is the practice. So practice releasing the body, practice taking a deep breath with me now. Take a deep breath. Let's take a deep breath. And breathe out slowly. Breathe in again. given everything I need to live a beautiful life. And breathe out. Inhale again. I have been given everything I need to live a beautiful life. Let me lose attachment to my weaknesses. Let me please lose my attachment to my deep, weak desires. If there are desires that make me strong, then let me confront and face them. If they take away my strength, let me let them go. Inhale deeply and exhale. May whatever happens, happen for the best for all mankind and myself, for I am part of this mankind. May with every breath I take, and take a deep breath, may I charge the world with atoms of love and goodness and kindness. Inhale again. May with every breath I take, may I release into this world words of love and kindness. May I learn to choose my words well. May I have the clarity to do the best for all concerned, including me. May I have the clarity to know all the time that I am spirit, I am soul, and that my body is on loan to me for a short time. So I need to forgive, I need to let go, to use this body in the best way possible. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Bless me so that every single day of my life I can sing a song, love with the world, be grateful for all that comes my way, good or bad. Be grateful for it all. Take a deep breath. And exhale. And imagine this beautiful light in your heart going out to everyone in this room. Just going out there. Imagine their rays coming back into your heart, whether you know them or not. Their rays are coming back into your heart and filling your heart with all the energy of love that floats in this room. And then see yourself as this being of light. See the best in you, the kindest in you, the most loving in you. See it. Take time to see all the good that you do. Just take 1 minute in silence to see that. And recognize how nice it feels. Now see all the harm and damage you do, and what makes you feel damaged. See it clearly. Take a minute to see that. choice we have with knowledge, and only we can do it. And finally, give thanks for our lives, for the ability to learn, to grow with every passing day, for a new adventure every day of our lives. Every day is a new beginning. Every day is a new day. Everything is forgiven. We just need to take the right steps forward. And see your life blessed. See it blessed and be thankful. We are so blessed. See it. See the vision of laughter. See the vision. Whatever goes, you're still laughing and you're still accepting. See the strength in you. It is your God-given gift. Do not throw it away with fear, guilt, or worry. Do not give it away. It's your gift. Inhale deeply and exhale. Just stay quiet for 2 minutes.
Sagamaya, Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya, Mrityoma, Mritangamaya. Lead us from unreal to real, lead us from darkness to the light, lead us from the fear of death to the knowledge of immortality. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light.
May the light of truth overcome all the darkness.
Victory to that light.
Jai Shri Sadguru Satchidananda Ji Maharaj Ki
Jai.